and welcome to this edition of Behind the Badge. I'm Christy Hopkins, Director of Media and Public Relations for the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Through our Legacy of Service series, we've been hearing from members of our law enforcement and corrections families. Their stories and their histories have been informative, sometimes humorous, and always inspirational. Let's meet members of another family dedicating their lives to making our community stronger and our neighborhood safer. Well, welcome, Turner family, and I really appreciate you being a part of our ongoing series, A Legacy of Service to the Harford County Sheriff's Office. So let's jump right in, and I'll start with you. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your career at the Sheriff's Office?
My name is Sergeant Norman Turner. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 22 years. I'm currently assigned to the Northern Precinct Patrol Operations. My career started in February 20th of 2001. I do remember and everything that I spent my first 6 years in patrol because I wanted to learn how to do the job correctly from the beginning. After that, I decided to challenge myself, so I went into the Special Investigations Divisions where I became a narcotics detective. I spent a few years there, spent a brief stint in the civil unit, and then most of my career was spent in the Criminal Investigation Division where I became a detective, where we handled everything from homicides, robberies, and I actually specialized in auto theft. From that unit, I decided to promote. I promoted to the rank of corporal, where I've worked both in specialized units and also in patrol. And now currently I've promoted to the rank of sergeant, where I plan on spending 5 more years and then I'll be retiring.
And we can talk a little bit about this more as we go on, but I can also see from your pin that you are a member of our motors unit.
Yes, I've been a defensive tactics unit instructor and everything earlier in my career, but one of the most proudest moments is becoming a motor officer, which I became about 3 to 4 years ago. I've been through a lot in my life in the U.S. military as an 82nd Airborne paratrooper. I also was in EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. Both very, very hard careers in the military, but I have to say that being in the motor training was one of the hardest trainings I've ever done.
I have heard other deputies say that as well. So next to you, you have your son, who is also a member of our Sheriff's Office family. Welcome. Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, I am DFC Matthew Turner. I've currently been with the Harford County Sheriff's Office for 6 years. I am assigned to Southern Patrol. I'm trying to go over to School Resource Officer Unit. I've always wanted to help children, so I thought that becoming a school resource officer, I would have that opportunity to do so.
So I'm going to ask you, can you think back and tell me maybe what your earliest memory of your dad being a law enforcement deputy, what that first kind of memory you have of that?
My first memory of my father being a law enforcement deputy was probably when he came home in his uniform. I got really excited. I thought it was so cool. I would always check out his badge, and one day I was hoping that I would also have that kind of badge. And I think it was awesome to see, and I've always cherished that memory.
Do you know the moment in which you decided you wanted to follow in his footsteps and be a deputy?
So through school, I didn't know what I really wanted to do in high school. When I got over to college, I thought about criminal justice. So I got my bachelor's degree from Towson University in criminal justice, sociology, and anthropology. And once I got out of college, I knew right then and there that I wanted to join law enforcement. And just studying it, going over it, seeing it, it made me very interested. So when I got out of college, I decided to apply.
Do you remember telling your dad?
I do remember telling my father. He was actually very proud that I wanted to join law enforcement. We talked about it. I've always respected what he's done, and I always thought his career in law enforcement was very rewarding. So I decided to say I'm gonna join.
Do you remember that conversation?
I do. I was very proud that he wanted to become a law enforcement officer and follow in my footsteps. From there, I encouraged him that if he wanted to do that, that he needed to be serious about it and he needed to make sure that he was prepared for it.
So now you work together, which some people could say that could be good or bad to work with your parents. Tell me, is there a particular call that you can remember that you were on together?
I do remember that when I was a detective in plain clothes in Criminal Investigation Division, there came out I was in the area and there was a domestic situation involving a man with a gun. I remember me and my son both showed up on the scene basically at the same time. At that point, it was very intense because we weren't sure where the guy was. So we both had to draw our weapons, order the guy to come out of the house, make sure the female was safe. At that time, you know, my son was just out of the academy after maybe a year or two. I could tell by his tactical skills that I was very proud that what he did in the academy, he learned. He took all the tactical positions that he was taught. He was very confident in what he was doing, and I was very proud of him. It did come to a good conclusion. We did order the guy out. We were able to take him into custody, and that was just one of the ones that really sticks in my head.
Do you remember that call?
I do remember that call. I want to be honest with you. It was a lot, and
Sounds like it was an intense
It was
call.
very intense. And when I got there, just the way he handled himself, and you know, he was just speaking to me and telling me, you know, what we had to do, and we just communicated. And you know, when we got up there and we drew down and had the guy come out of the house, we both handled it very well, and you know, we got it to a safe conclusion, and it was very memorable though to be able to work right next to my father and to be able to handle such an intense call together and it come out, you know, good.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about being a member of the motor unit. I know that I have seen firsthand our unit lead the 9/11 ride through Harford County. I've seen you lead in funeral processions. I've seen a lot of different events that are very ceremonial, and we're there, we're a part of it. It kind of goes to the family of law enforcement and then the service to the community. And I'd really like to know from you what it means to be part of something like that.
Becoming part of the motor unit has been so rewarding. You know, we basically lead a lot of processions, no matter what it is. Okay, we're twofold. We lead processions at the worst moments for funerals, for you know things like the 9/11 ride, remembering 9/11. We also escort dignitaries, you know, from one place to another. So we do different parts. But I'll tell you right now, since being in the motor unit, I've had the pleasure of escorting the 9/11 ride. We start in Pennsylvania, we escort them to Flight 93. The following day, we escort the ride to the Pentagon. And then on the third day, we escort the ride all the way to New York City. That's a long haul overall. We've been very fortunate to be one of the motor units and recognized to lead this procession. We have a great motor unit. We have a great bunch of guys that's dedicated to the unit. And I've led that, and by leading it, we go down into a place called Leesburg, Virginia. The whole community, throughout the whole ride, no matter where we are, they come out, they come on the streets, they show you their appreciation. To see that is just awesome, because when I started this agency in 2001, 9/11 happened. I apologize.
No, take a minute.
I remember getting off midnight shifts and watching it occur on TV. And just thinking of the officers, the people, and everybody being a military person that died in that. But I was also very proud because we started getting our phone calls. And as a law enforcement officer, I was able to step up and help our community get through that time, provide safety, provide guidance. You know, so our training came into effect. The sheriff's office and every law enforcement officer and everybody in the United States at that time came together. And at that point, we united, and I was part of helping that. So, but the 9/11 ride is memorable to me. You know, it's an awesome event. It allows us to stay grounded. It shows us, you know, everything what we can get through if we all unite and stay together.
Brings back that moment of unity for sure,
Yeah.
and shows appreciation for first responders. I know the nation really felt it in the days and weeks after 9/11, and to be able to kind of like recapture that must really be something special. So when you're out and about in the community, do you feel that same level of respect and appreciation? I know Harford County is a really special place to work, that our community supports us, appreciates us. We've done some polling in the communities, which really kind of things that we already knew. Now we know for sure that they really do appreciate what we do in our communities. Not every community has that. So when you're out on patrol, do you get waves or thumbs ups or thank yous or anything like that?
All the time. Working in Harford County is amazing. The citizens of Harford County are awesome. I'll be out and I'll have everybody waving to me, little kids waving to me, parents saying wave to the officer. I see people like walking in convenience stores, stuff like that. They're always thanking me for my service and thanking me for what I do. And, it's awesome to see. And I tell you what, I appreciate every single one of those people who do take the time to say thank you.
This whole series focuses around a legacy of service, and we are really fortunate at the Sheriff's Office to have a lot of families where it's generations of service to this community. So I would really like to hear from both of you what it means to you, what it says about you that you've dedicated your life and your career to public safety, whether it be for our nation and now for our county, or it's just starting your career. What does it mean to you to be part of that service?
I'm very proud to be able to serve my community. We at the Sheriff's Office, we are very blessed. We have a county that stands behind us. So, giving the time back to the community, showing them that we're here for them, so that they feel safe at night when they sleep. When things go on here within in the county, they look to us and everything for guidance and help and assistance. And here with the Sheriff's Office, giving back to the community, being part of the Sheriff's Office and doing that has been rewarding to me, because this is where I live. This is where my family lives. This is where my friends live. So when I go out there and I do my job every day, I do my job because I want to protect everybody that's here. I want to make sure that they feel safe.
So I know you spend your career and your job here, but when you leave, you also are active in your community volunteering.
Yeah, I grew up and everything with my two boys, and they were very active in the sports. So what I did is I would volunteer my time in recreational sports. Most of my time was spent in the North Hartford area, where I coached football for 20 years. Not only that, but I also coached basketball and baseball. Well, as my boys got older, I didn't need to be a coach any longer for them, okay? So what I did is I still maintain and coach through the recreational programs. The reason why I did that is because I noticed that when I got involved in it, I was mentoring kids, showing them the right way to do things. So after my boys stopped playing sports, I continued for another 10 years, just volunteering my time at the North Hartford program, mentoring other kids, trying to bring them up, showing them the right thing to do. I used to always say, hey, do you know what the hardest thing is to do? And they go, no, what, coach? I said, the right thing.
So much of what you do is helping people in a vulnerable moment, whether it's through your work at the Sheriff's Office, whether you're on patrol or as a detective, or in volunteering. Sounds like people have turning points in their life, and for you to be able to be there for them is really commendable. Yeah. So what about you? What does it mean for you to be part of this legacy of service or giving back to your community, involved in public safety?
It means a lot to me. I'm glad to be able to be part of such a great family. And giving back to the community is awesome. I it's my hometown. It's the county where I grew up, the county where I live. I want it to be the best it can be, and I'm going to do everything that I can do to help keep it that way.
Well, I don't think it will come to a surprise to either of you if I talk about how recruitment is difficult for law enforcement and for corrections. Certainly we oversee corrections as well in Harford County. And that's not a local issue, that really is a national issue for law enforcement and corrections. And I really want to get your impression, you as being a veteran deputy and you being newer to the agency. If someone is out there and they're thinking about law enforcement or corrections as a career, and they're just not really sure, they need that one piece of advice or that one piece of guidance to kind of help them see that this is a great family to be a part of, it's a great call for service. What's the advice that you would give them?
Well, being a veteran, being here 22 years, I remember when I got hired that they were only accepting 5 people, and I walked into a school to take a test of over 400 people. So back when I began my career here, it was very hard to get onto the agency. Nowadays, we're having these problems and so forth because what we do is we see what the media is portrayed. What I would tell people today is don't believe what you see out there. Come out to the sheriff's office, ride along with us, okay? Come and see what we do. Go to our Citizens Academy. See what the job actually entails. Don't believe what the 30-second skit you see out there on TV. Make that decision for yourself. And they can only make that decision for themselves. But I can tell you without a doubt that the Harford County Sheriff's Office, they by far are a great agency. Our academy, the training they put us through and what they do, they prepare us every day for what we deal with on the street. So, a career here with us, I can't speak about other agencies, they're all doing good things, but we have a great agency that trains all of our people. And if they come out, get involved, see with the ride-alongs, the Citizens Academy, things like that, they can make that choice themselves. Don't always believe what you see on TV. This is a real rewarding job. You're able to go out there and serve your community and give back and be able to hold your head high, do a good job, and everything. And as long as you're doing the right thing, that's what it all comes down to.
Citizens Police Academy is an excellent resource for
Yes.
folks that want to learn about what we do, because I think not only do people get sometimes a false narrative, but even if they have a positive understanding of the sheriff's office, I don't think anybody understands how much we do, right? All of the things that we handle, all the things that we take care of, the limitations on things that we can't take care of, and then then you add corrections on it as well. So every January, if someone's listening, every January we put all this information on our website, and they can sign up and apply to be a member of the Citizens Police Academy. Fantastic, fantastic idea. So we'll leave you with the final thoughts. What advice would you give to somebody considering a career in law enforcement?
The advice I would give would be keep an open mind. You see things nowadays that go different ways back and forth, and you're going to have to watch that and see and pay attention to it and decide for yourself whether you want to do a job in law enforcement. And I would say, come out and take ride-alongs with us. If you can join to be a cadet, ride around with us for a while and see how the job is and what the job entails. And I would say just if you want to do it, talk with your family and talk with your friends and talk with law enforcement officers. Come and speak with us, and we'll give you the best advice we possibly can. But if you want to do it, do it. We need you.
That is a true statement and a great point to end on. And so I just want to say again, I know your schedules are very busy, and I thank you so much for taking time to come and talk to us about your legacy of service here at the Harford County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
everything to enjoy in Harford County, Maryland. The baseball,
the tradition,
the fine dining,
the craft beverages, the parks,
the trails,
the boating,
the history, the landmarks,
the sports,
the scenery, the shopping, the farms,
the waterfront,
the events.
Harford County, Maryland. Something for everyone.
Welcome back to Behind the Badge. We're delighted to announce that our very popular Youth Academy is back after being on hiatus for a few years. Let's find out more.
Hello, I'm Senior Deputy Harrell of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, currently assigned to School Police Unit, North Harford Middle School. And I'm here with the good news that for the first time since 2019, we are bringing back our Youth Academy. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Youth Academy program, it's a week-long camp held here at the Harford Glen for 5 days and 4 nights. While here, the kids will get to spend time with their SROs and get a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be a law enforcement officer. So some of the fun things that we'll get to do while here at Youth Academy is not just learn about why we do things, but how we do things. Students will have the opportunity to work with our canines, they'll get to learn from our forensics unit, and they'll even get to work with the traffic unit doing things such as running radar and LiDAR. Aside from just those portions of teaching, we also spend a lot of time together. We'll work on team building skills and getting to know one another. Some of those fun things include a ropes course and canoeing. For those of you interested in attending this year's Youth Academy, talk to your SRO or visit the Sheriff's Office website. The deadline is May 15th, so get the applications in fast and we look forward to seeing you there.
Roadways can be dangerous at this time of year, with snow, ice, and fog making driving hazardous and putting drivers at risk. So let's make sure you and your vehicle are ready for whatever Mother Nature has in store.
Winter is here. With that comes increased hazards on the roadway. I'm Corporal Shane Frazier with the Harford County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit, here to give you some winter driving tips. Whenever you're checking your tires, you want to make sure they're adequately inflated and they have plenty of tread life left. You also want to check and make sure your headlights are working, your wiper blades are free from ice, that you have proper fluid levels, specifically your washer fluid, preferably with a de-icer. You also want to make sure that your windshield is clear completely, as well as your roof. Excess snow remaining on your roof can cause a hazard to other drivers on the roadway. A few other items that you'd like to make sure you're in your vehicle just in case. Some extra warm clothing, like a jacket, water, and a warm blanket. Now that your vehicle is road ready, once you're out on the road, you want to remember to keep a safe following distance from other vehicles. And when you do need to stop, make sure you have smooth braking inputs and allow plenty of distance. If you find yourself on slick roadways and start to slide, take your foot off the pedal and steer into the skid until you come to a stop. The best way to avoid a skid to begin with is to have smooth acceleration, smooth braking, and smooth steering inputs. And the number one way to keep yourself safe in winter weather is to avoid going out if at all possible. Make sure you buckle up, keep that phone down, and drive safe.
Let's check in now with our cold case file. On February 24th, 1995, the body of 25-year-old Glenn Lamont Jones was found shot to death in a cornfield off Oakington Road in Aberdeen. He had been reported missing earlier that year. Detectives continue the investigation into this crime. However, there are currently no suspects in his murder. If you have information about this case, call us or submit an anonymous tip. This past Christmas, Harford County citizens joined with our sheriff's deputies, going beyond the badge and making the holiday season happier for our friends and neighbors in need. For the 40th year, we collected toys, food, clothing, and donations to distribute to 105 families, making the season brighter for 160 adults and putting smiles on the faces of 335 kids. Well, that's all for today's show. We have lots more to share with you about who we are, what we do, and how we keep you and your family safe here in Harford County. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram for more information about our agency between episodes, or take a look at our previous shows through our virtual academy. Until next time, for Behind the Badge, I'm Christy Hopkins.